everyone, this is Amanda, and I'm Amanda's Booktopia. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, welcome back. And today, I'm sharing with you guys my TBR for February, and I'm also going to talk about all the books that I'm reading for RomCom Swoonathon, which is a romance readathon run by my besties, Dana from Dana Ella, Karina from She Dreams in Words, and Kaylani from Kaylani Simply Me. They're doing this for the whole month of February. There are some things that they're doing that I won't be able to participate in because of my cruise, but I do want to try and do their bingo board at the very least. So these are all the books that I'm going to be using to fulfill prompts off the bingo board. And in case you don't know what the bingo board looks like, it looks a little bit like this. If get it to focus. And so I will be going row by row and telling you what I'm reading for each prompt. There are some prompts that are not bookish. So I'll tell you what they are, but I won't be able to tell you what I'm reading for them because, they're not bookish. But we're going to go through each prompt that we've got, starting with the very first one, which is a workplace. So I had to get some feedback for this one because I wasn't sure if this would work. But my bestie Karina said it works, so I'm going with it. And that is Wild Love by Elsie Silver for workplace. So I think there's a recording studio. There's a recording studio in this book, which definitely works for workplace. So I figured that would definitely work, and I wanted to read more Elsie Silver. I want to finish all the books that I have from her. Plus, I want to continue the series of them. So I figured this would be a great start for the workplace prompt. And then our second prompt is Friends to Lovers. And for that one, I'm going with Always Mine by Laura Pavlov. I just got this book. It has stunning sprayed edges. And on the back it says, it's Friends to Lovers Small Town Romance. And it's perfect for fans of Elsie Silver and Melanie Harlow, which I've read from both of those authors before. So I figured this would be perfect for that Friends to Lovers prompt. I know nothing about it, except the main guy is a firefighter, I think. That's really it. And this will be my first book from this author. I have never read her before, so I am very excited to try my first Laura Pavlov, and I know my bestie Karina also loves Laura Pavlov. So I'm hoping I will like her just as much. So I'm excited for that. And then the next prompt we have is Young Adult, which for that, I don't have a physical book. I'm going to be using an audiobook for this one, because the next bookish prompt after that is an audiobook. So I'll be doubling up with Young Adult and audiobook for this. And I'm going to be using Better Than the Movies by, what's her name again? Lynn Painter, that's it. Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I have never read a Lynn Painter before in my life, but I know all of my besties love this book. And I have the audio. So I figured that could be my audiobook for the month. And I am very excited to dive into my first Lynn Painter book. I'm hoping I'm going to love it. So I'm excited for that. And then the next prompt is write a review, which could work for any of these books. And then we have an audiobook, which I just told you I'm doubling up on with a Young Adult for Better Than the Movies. And the next prompt we have is a mental health threat. And for mental health threat, I'm going to be using an ebook for this one. That'll be The Kiss Quotient by Helen Wong. I think that's how you pronounce that. I believe the main girl has Asperger's. I figured that would be perfect for mental health. And I have read nothing from this author before. But I know she's super popular. And I already own the ebook. So I'm excited to try my first Helen Wong and see if I love it. So that will be my book for mental health. And then our next prompt is a sports romance. So for this one, I just bought an ebook that I'm so excited to read, and I figured this would be perfect for this prompt. So this is Melt For You by J.T. Geisinger. I think that's how you pronounce it. I have read Pen Pal from this author and Burn For You from this author, and they've both been 5 stars. They've been absolutely amazing. I've been loving J.T. Geisinger lately. And since I read Burn For You, this is the second in that series, and I really, really want to continue. So all I know, for sports, since it's sports related, is that the main guy does rugby. So I thought that'd be kind of cool to fit that in there. Then the third book in that series is called Ache For You. I'm also going to be reading that. I'm going to be not exactly doubling up, but I'm going to be reading 2 books for the prompt of Workplace. I know I mentioned Wild Love. I'll also be reading Ache For You, which is also the third book in the series after Melt For You. Because I believe the main girl is a boutique owner and the main guy is in the fashion industry. Pretty sure that works for Workplace. So I will be reading 2 books for the Workplace prompt. And I wanted to finish out that series anyways, because I am loving JT Geisinger right now. And then the next prompt we have after sports romance is Yellow on the Cover. And for Yellow on the Cover, I decided to do a photo finish by Elsie Silver. As I said, I'm loving Elsie Silver right now, and I want to continue her books. I know this is the second one. The first one I'm using for a prompt, also on the bingo board. I haven't mentioned it yet, but it's later down the list, so I will mention it when the time comes. But I'm excited to read more Elsie Silver. And then, let's see. What's the next prompt after Yellow on the Cover again? Oh yeah, Marriage of Convenience. So for Marriage of Convenience, I just decided to go with Keep Me by Sarah Kate. I have been wanting to read this book since I got it. This was a pre-order that I got like the beginning of December. And the main girl is approached by the main guy's family with a proposal, moves to Scotland and marry him to improve his Playboy reputation, and after 1 year to walk away with $10 million. And she agrees. So that definitely works for Marriage of Convenience. And I am super excited to read another Sarah Kate book. I've read Praise by her and really enjoyed that. I haven't read any more from her since, but I want to. And it sounds really, really good. So I'm excited to dive into more of Sarah Kate. And then the next prompt after Marriage of Convenience, we have Treat Yourself. So basically I can either treat myself to a book, treat myself to food, treat myself to basically anything. And then after that, we have Spicy. So for Spicy, I'm using an ebook for this prompt, which is Give Me a Reason by A.L. Jackson. I have read books from this author before, and I've really enjoyed them. And I know a lot of her books are technically pretty spicy. And I got this ebook for only 99 cents when it was on sale, before it jumped back up to $4.99. So I'm excited to read another A.L. Jackson book, and it's the start of another series. I know the paperback itself has sprayed edges, so I'm hoping if I really enjoy the ebook, I will want to buy the physical copy of the sprayed edges. So I'm excited to read that. And then the next one after Spicy is Mixed Media. So for that, I'm going to be tripling up with this book. I have Gothicana by Runix. I've been wanting to read more Gothic. I've been wanting to read more Runix because I love The Predator by Runix. I still need to continue that series. But I've heard excellent things about this. Like, all of my besties seem to be loving this book. What I was told is that there's, like, for mixed media, that there's quotes and stuff from different things, or can't remember what Karina said, but she said there was mixed media in here, so I'm trusting her judgment on that. And I'm also going to be using this book for another prompt. Actually, 2 other prompts. So the next one we have a school setting, and this also takes place in a school. So I'll be using this for school setting as well. And then it also works for the prompt of secrets. So there's a prompt of secrets. And my bestie Karina said this also works for that. So I'll be using this book for 3 prompts. So I'm going to be tripling up with this book. And I am very excited to finally read Gothicana because I've heard nothing but great things. And I cannot wait. And then the next prompt we've got is bookish. So for bookish, I'm going to use Funny Story by Emily Henry. I believe from when I read the synopsis, the main girl, I believe, is a children's librarian. So I figured that could work. And this book is also in my 13 books for 13 friends. So I figured this would be a great time to knock that book out. And then for city setting, we have another prompt after that, which is called city setting. So a book that takes place in a city. Which could probably go for pretty much any of these books for the most part. However, I decided to go with another J.T. Geisinger book because I'm loving J.T. Geisinger right now. So I took this book out on Prime, and it's called Perfect Strangers. And when I read the synopsis, it said it takes place in Paris. And Paris is definitely a city. It has a lot going on in Paris. So I figured this would be perfect for that prompt. And I can't wait to read more JT books. And then the next one after that was listen to a favorite song. It's going to be any song. It's not a bookish prompt, so I'm not going to do anything for that one yet. I don't know what my favorite song is currently, to be honest with you guys. But I'm sure I'll figure out something. And then the next prompt after that was Secrets, which I already shared with you guys, was Gothicana, because I'm tripling up with that. And then the next prompt after is a new author. So I'm going to pick a book that is perfect for Fiction Falls. Because for Fiction Falls Book Club, we are reading this book, and I've never read this author before. So that is Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Roerich. And I cannot wait to devour this book. I have a feeling I'm going to love it. Because I've been hearing that it's very similar to Throne of Glass. And Throne of Glass is one of my all-time favorite series. So I am so psyched to read this for Fiction Falls. And we do have a date for the live show. I haven't scheduled it on my channel yet, but it will be on February 25th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And I will also link our Fiction Falls Instagram below, so you can follow along and get all the important updates. And I am so excited to read this. I want to read Reign of Shadows and Endings, which is a sequel series to this. But I know there's crossovers. So I wanted to read this series first and hopefully love it. I cannot wait. This is going to be my first book of the month, by the way, because I really, really, really want to read this. So I'm so excited to dive on in. And then the next prompt we have for the bingo board is Love Triangle. So for Love Triangle, I almost completely forgot about this series. I realized I have the second book. So I'm going with the second book in the Zodiac Academy series. I read the first one and devoured it in one night. I love the first one. So I am so psyched to read the second one. I'm hoping I'm going to love it just as much as the first. And I cannot wait. I know people there's very mixed reviews on this series, but I've heard very more good than bad. I've heard the first few books are better than the last few. I heard that the series kind of drags and it can be kind of long. I think there's 9 books or something in the series. And then there's spin-off series as well. So I figured I might as well read this book first. Well, at least the second book, because I do really want to continue the series. So I'm very excited to read this for Love Triangle. And then the next prompt we've got is play a game, so I could go to bingo and count that. So I already signed up for bingo for February, so I am most definitely using that for play a game. Then the next prompt we have is standalone. For standalone, I am going to be reading Amid Clouds and Bones by Ella Fields. This is a standalone fantasy romance that Jess from Honest Fiction, her Patreon, we are buddy reading this together. And she's going to have a live show for just her Patreon to discuss the book at the end of the month. And I've never read Ella Fields before, and I decided to buy the ebook. I got a really great deal on it. I had a coupon for $3 off. So technically, I only had to pay 99 cents for this ebook, and I cannot wait to read my first Ella Fields book. I think it's going to be such a fun time. I cannot wait. And then the next part we've got is Enemies to Lovers. So for Enemies to Lovers, I'm going to use Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. This is the first book before the book I'm using for the yellow cover prompt, which was A Photo Finish. That's the second book. This is the first book in that series. So, I saw on Amazon that in the title on Amazon, it said Enemies to Lovers. So I am very much excited to see if I'm going to love this book. I'm really hoping so, because I'm really loving Elsie Silver right now, and I cannot wait to read all of her books. And that's what I've got for Enemies to Lovers. And then the next prompt after that is Wedding. And I couldn't think of anything. I'm sure I had something, I just couldn't think of it. But Karina gave me this book for my 13 books from 13 friends, and she really wants me to read it. And she told me this book has a wedding scene in it, so I figured we'll count it. And that is Fragile Sanctuary by Catherine Cowles. I have read Whispers of You by this author and really loved it. And I want to read more Catherine Cowles. So I'm going to give her another go and hopefully love Fragile Sanctuary. Because Karina said there's a wedding scene in this book. So I'm excited to dive on it, and I'm hoping to love another Catherine Cowles and want to continue on reading more of her books. And then we have one last prompt, which is fake dating. So for this one, I'm going with Not the Girl You Marry by Andy J. Christopher. This is supposed to be just like the movie. What's that Kate Hudson movie again with Matthew McConaughey? 10 Days. 10 Days to Lose a Guy. I can't remember the name of the movie. I love this movie. Something about 10 Days. It's a Kate Hudson, Matthew McConaughey movie. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to remember the name of the actual movie, though. And I cannot remember what the movie's called. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's the movie. And I absolutely love that movie. And this book sounds a lot like it. And they're doing so they're both going into a fake relationship on this one. So I am psyched to read this. The main guy is a journalist, and the main girl is an event planner. And they both want to do a great job in their jobs, and so they end up fake dating. So for the sake of their jobs, just like that movie. So I cannot wait to read this. This was actually a gift from Stephanie, my stepsister, so I cannot wait to finally read one of her gifts. I have a few books from her that she gifted me that I haven't read yet, and this is one of them. So I'm very much excited to read this book because it sounded so much like that movie. So I cannot wait to dive on in. And that is all the prompts that I have from RomCom Swoonathon. I don't have any other reading plans necessarily that I could think of. I just wanted to try and at least do the bingo board. And I got my priority reads into the bingo board, which is great. I know for the Sweeney readers, they're also doing a group book, which is called Bet on It by Jody Slaughter. However, I will not be able to participate in the live show because I will be on my cruise. So I figured it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to read a book I won't be able to talk about later, which is why I'm not reading that one right now. And the Thrills and Chills book that I normally participate in Thrills and Chills, but it's another Kate Alice Marshall book called A Killing Cold. And I was not very impressed with the one book that I read from her, which was What Lies in the Woods. It was okay. I just didn't love it. And I'm just not feeling Kate Alice Marshall right now, which is the only reason why I'm not participating this month. I mean, I know they're doing a live show, I believe on the 26th. But I may pop in just to say hey. But I don't think I'm going to be actively reading the book right now. If I ever decide to down the line, maybe I'll check out an audio. But I'm not super invested. But hopefully for the month of March, things will change because I already know what the Sweeney Readers pick is, and I already have the audiobook for March. So I'm excited for that. And I'm also excited for the Thrills and Chills book for March because they're doing That's Not My Name by Megan Lawley in March. And I definitely want to get an ebook for that. So I will most definitely be checking out March's books. February don't think it's going to work with my traveling. So, but that's all the books that I plan on reading for February and for RomCom Swoonathon. Are you participating in RomCom Swoonathon? I would love to know what books you're reading for it. Have you read any of these books? If you have, I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you made it this far in the video and you don't feel like being chatty, give me a... What should you give me? How about a lion for Zodiac Academy? Just because it sounds fun. Just as a reminder for those that do not know, for Fiction Falls, for my book club with my bestie Clint that we run together, this book, Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Rohrish, is our February pick. And we are having a live show. I still need to schedule it on my channel, but it will be on February 25th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will have a guest host with us. Karina from She Dreams and Words will be joining us. And I am so excited for us to read this together and then talk about the whole book on the 25th. So in case you are not already following our Instagram for Fiction Falls, it will be linked down below. So that way you can keep up on all the details of what we have coming so you don't miss a single thing. And I hope to see you guys in our live show. It'll be such a fun time, especially with Karina joining us, so I am very excited. And if you like this video, make sure you give me a huge thumbs up. If you want to see more bookish content from me, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below. And I'll see you on the next one.